Imagine if there was no country in the world today called the United States. There would be no New York, no Hollywood, no Silicon Valley. America, known today as the most powerful country in the world, was once only 13 small colonies. But how did this country become the #1 power in the world? Today, we will learn the incredible history of the creation of America. In 1492, the Italian navigator Christopher Columbus set sail westward. He thought he would find new trade routes by reaching Asia along this route. But he reached some islands in the Caribbean region. Little did he realize that he had approached a new continent. Columbus mistakenly called the indigenous people there Indians. He returned to Spain with news of gold and valuables. Then Spain began to conquer new territories. Portugal also reached Asia by sea and built a huge trading empire. Spain and Portugal divided the world with an imaginary line to avoid conflict. As a result, large parts of Central and South America came under Spain's control. North America was not given much importance then, because gold or silver was not easily available here. But history was about to change very soon.
In 1585, England founded the first colony called Roanoke. But mysteriously, the entire colony suddenly disappeared one day. Even today, it is one of the great mysteries of history. In 1607, the English established a new colony called Jamestown. This time, they succeeded. It was England's first permanent colony in North America. In 1620, a group of pilgrims came to America on the Mayflower in hopes of religious freedom. They founded the Plymouth Colony. Then, 13 British colonies were gradually formed. Meanwhile, France also established its own colonies in North America. A terrible war began between Britain and France. At the end of this war, Britain was victorious and took control of large areas. Despite winning the war, Britain's coffers were almost empty, so they began to impose new taxes on the American colonies.
The colonists became angry. They had only one thing to say: no taxation without representation. This conflict gradually turned into a rebellion. On July 4, 1776, America's leaders declared independence. But the war was not over yet. The war continued for several more years. In 1783, Britain formally recognized America's independence. This is how the United States was born. Even after independence, running the country was not easy, so a new constitution was created. In 1789, George Washington was elected the first president of the United States. America was still very small in size. Large areas in the West were controlled by France and Spain. Then Napoleon Bonaparte came to power in France. In 1803, Napoleon sold the Louisiana Territory to the United States. The purchase nearly doubled America's size. It is said to be one of the most important land purchases in history. From just 13 small colonies, America is today one of the most powerful nations in the world. But this story does not end here. In the next episode, learn how America spread across the continent and became a world superpower.